The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Good morning to you. Your time is 5 a.m. and yes, it is already underway. We are kicking off our annual Gleaners Food Drive outside of our studios at Compassion Corner.
Yeah, it's happening all day long.
So we are still talking about that latest atmospheric river, perhaps the word of the year. It hammered the state overnight with heavy rain and high winds and the potential for more flooding. NBC's Shaquille Brewster has more.
Another round of intense storms pounding the West Coast. Relentless rain soaking SoCal. While whiteout conditions hit mountain communities where families are still recovering from the last storm. Central and Southern California bracing for whipping winds, already topping 70 miles an hour. 33 million people are under high wind alerts across the region, 17 million facing flood alerts. In Tulare County, mandatory evacuations forcing thousands of families out of their homes.
It's never been like this, never, since we lived here. It's been 36 or 7 years we lived out here.
This is California's 12th atmospheric river storm since January, the system dumping up to 10 inches of rain throughout the state, which has faced drought for nearly a decade. California reservoirs now at 70% capacity. But the series of storms also eroding riverbanks, causing dangerous water rescues and putting pressure on levees and infrastructure. A water main break adding to the misery on LA's freeways.
This is a lake that is formed right on the southbound lanes.
Another dangerous washout leaving Southern California drenched as forecasters say more is on the way. Shaquille Brewster, NBC News, Los Angeles.
And back here at home, the Kern County Fire Department and dozens of other agencies are hosting an event to teach residents how to prepare for emergencies. The event will include interactive demonstrations like sidewalk CPR and simulated fire extinguishers, plus an earthquake simulator and first responder equipment displays. It's happening on Saturday at CSUB's Don Hart East Lawn from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m.
5:05 is your time now. In controversy this morning in Delano following a vote by the City Council to remove the pride flag from government flagpoles. The preliminary vote, which was made during Monday night's meeting, makes Delano the second city in California to prohibit the pride flag on government property. If the policy is approved, the firefighter flag will also be coming down, leaving only the U.S. flag, the state flag, and the POW flag. Council members Mario Nunez, Liz Morris, and Delano Mayor Joe Alindahow voted in favor of the policy change, while Veronica Vasquez voted against it.
The reason I voted yes is, like I said again, our American flag covers us all. It's not in one group or another. One of the things that I didn't agree with is everybody is trying to make it a pride issue. It's got nothing to do with the pride flag. It's got nothing to do with the firefighters flag.
I believe that the United States flag stands for freedom and justice and for everyone. It's about everyone who lives in this United States, that it will cover all of us. I don't care what color you are, what race you are, or what gender you may be.
The Dolores Huerta Foundation calls the decision, quote, a clear sign of the homophobia and transphobia that still is very much present in the Central Valley. Delano's City Council will hold a final vote on the policy change next month.
Looking ahead to tomorrow, the Bakersfield National Cemetery is hosting its first unaccompanied veteran ceremony of the year. Organizers put on the event to memorialize veterans who were buried without any known family, guaranteeing they'll be remembered after being laid to rest. Many of the veterans served in Vietnam. The ceremony starts at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Making news around the state, a bill to ban the use of police canines for arrests and crowd control was introduced into the California Assembly last month. And this morning, it's a step closer to becoming law. AB 742 was introduced by Assembly members Corey Jackson of Riverside County and Ash Kalra of San Jose to, quote, end a deeply racialized and harmful practice of sicking canines on people. The bill passed the Assembly Public Safety Committee yesterday on a party line vote 6-2. Now it heads to the Assembly Appropriations Committee.
A Bakersfield police officer who lost his canine partner in a shooting nearly 2 years ago says Django saved his life that night and the lives of his fellow officers. Django was shot 3 times while trying to apprehend a suspect the night of April 27, 2021. 17 News spoke with his handler a few months later. Officer Brock Mueller told us canines like Django are invaluable.
But without them, there's numerous criminals that would have gotten away from law enforcement. There's a lot of people that we just wouldn't have found. And then, especially people that are running away from us. The incident that took Django, we had no clue that guy had a gun. And if it wasn't for Django, that would have been officers approaching that guy.
Django was the first K-9 in the Bakersfield Police Department's history to die in the line of duty.
Crime Watch now, the Kern Secret Witness Program is offering a reward of up to $10,000 for information leading to the arrest of the person or people involved in the 2021 murder of Tyis Rush. The evening of August 14th, Bakersfield police were called out to Plans Road near Raider Drive in South Bakersfield for a report of a shooting. Officers say 21-year-old Tyis Rush died at the scene. Bakersfield police say the suspect vehicle is a white Nissan Sentra, model year 2015 to 2019. And here's a look at two of the suspects. If you know anything about these men, you're urged to call the Secret Witness line at 322-4040.
In your 17 Court Watch this morning, the father accused of killing his 7-week-old daughter will remain charged with murder and child assault after a judge denied a defense motion in court. The defense attorney for Gregory Higgins said the baby girl, who had Down syndrome, suffered her injuries while Higgins performed CPR. The prosecutor said Higgins knew how to hurt his daughter, given her condition, and continued to act in a way that would harm her. The child suffered skull fractures and bleeding on the brain and later died at the hospital. Higgins is due back in court next month, where a trial date will likely be set.
Making news around the nation, the waiting game continues in Lower Manhattan this morning, where a grand jury is set to reconvene, weighing a possible indictment of former President Donald Trump. It comes after Mr. Trump's stunning weekend prediction proved wrong, with no arrest or indictment yesterday. The grand jury is examining a hush money payment made to adult film star Stormy Daniels shortly before Election Day in the 2016 presidential campaign. The investigation specifically looking at how Trump's company, the Trump Organization, classified the payment as legal expenses.
Today is the day we expect to find out whether the Federal Reserve will raise interest rates again or hit the pause button. The Fed's decision comes amid mixed signals about the economy. NBC's Bree Jackson is in Washington this morning with more.
Fighting inflation and containing a banking crisis, two factors playing a key role in the Federal Reserve's decision on interest rates. Earlier this month, Fed Chair Jerome Powell suggested more aggressive hikes could come.
The process of getting inflation back down to 2% has a long way to go and is likely to be bumpy.
Increasing rates have sent Americans on a roller coaster ride.
That influences and trickles to consumers through higher borrowing costs. We've seen it with credit card rates.
We're also seeing the effect on the U.S. housing market. According to recent data from the National Association of Realtors, sales of previously owned homes jumped 14.5% last month. That's the first monthly gain in a year.
So the volatility that we actually have seen has made interest rates in the mortgage market actually decline.
Some experts predict the Fed could increase rates by a quarter point or more today. Others expect the central bank to hit the pause button following the collapse of multiple U.S. banks.
Why are we having a banking crisis? Because government spent too much and created inflation.
The Biden administration has taken steps to safeguard the banking system.
The situation is stabilizing, and the U.S. banking system remains sound.
And ease financial concerns as investors brace themselves for the Fed's next move. And some fear that rising interest rates could make it harder for banks to lend money, hurting small businesses and other borrowers. In Washington, Bree Jackson, NBC News.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
The 17 News at Sunrise podcast is a production of KGET and Nexstar Media Group. For more on all of the headlines in today's show, head to kget.com.